Welcome. Here we go. We're gonna go over Shalagram. Let's just get started. This is like my fourth time trying. I keep muting and other things. So, as we can see, I'll list the episode where I first came across this. And now I'm going to talk about it because I ordered it and I have it and I'm looking at it. So here we go. We can see little lines here. Just kind of going over things real quick. We got those. We got this opening, of course. Another similar feature over here, but not the same. We got some kind of ammonite structure, or like a remnant of one. And I was looking. So right here, I'm gonna cross, wrapping around this. Looks to be another one that has a center, maybe generally around here. So like there was two possible layers of swirls here. And then here, this is interesting. A dendrite that reaches down here and goes over this way. So in my previous video, I talked about the potential that it was actually part of a larger shallogram. Dendrite? How cool is that? That thing. Opening that goes down to the other opening. And then a dendrite that goes this way. So it's definitely part of a shallogram. Like if we go... I should probably got an image for this. Like it's kind of like the dendrites here, but on a much larger scale. Okay, so there's that going on. Part of my lighting, by the way, this is kind of hard given my circumstances. So I noticed, let's see, right here, there's the little teeth opposite to the flat face. Teeth here. Oops. With little pores. You can see pores in the spaces. With it, like a larger pore at the tip there. And then continuing here. And then going around. My thought was maybe here. And then there. But reaching a flat face. And also interacting with this. Then there's like lines going across like this way. Across here. And then notice, where is that? Back there. And over here are kind of in a relative plane. And then this is kind of in that next plane, going like that way. Possibly here as well. Along there. Holy crap, I'm shaky. Maybe it's the energy. It's probably drugs. Okay. So there's so many thoughts though. It makes me think from this here that there's a layer of an ammonite spiral, another layer, and then just like layers of them, which stack like pancakes, but not directly atop one another, and lay just like sloped by the others until they become like fractally substantial enough that it manifested in this nature. Because a specific image what am I thinking of? It's back here somewhere. The one with the floppy disk episode. Essentially where these are made up of simple disks that are then actually made of ammonite structures on the right scale. And the right, like, total circumstances to bring it forth, where sometimes it just creates a disk. Oh my god. Too many to look at. I must have passed it. Sorry guys. Maybe a little. Might as well bring you guys along a little bit more. I'm looking for the floppy disk one. Definitely before these. It's hard to remember. Here's some stacked. Kind of like this, just stacked. Can happen, and it, I believe, is what happened here, with one here, and then one here next to it. Possibly fed by whatever was like drilling into that location. Okay, let's find this. I mean, this got it somewhat. These kind of characteristics. I'm not sure. I don't think this is the one. It also shows that little tab that we see in here between this opening and then this one here. So there's a little tab there. I don't know if that goes through the rock. Still not the one that we were looking for. I imagine it's cool just checking them out, but sometimes just skip ahead, hopefully. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Where it forms like layered, where this one goes underneath and this one goes atop it, this one goes atop it, and creates this sequence of ammonite structures. That then ran into, is what I'm thinking, this overall structure that's happening. That was forming these teeth. So like currents coming out here, coming out. But this is also, the dendrite is also branching out from here. So maybe I wonder if there's any way. Need such a tiny camera to look at this. Oopsie daisy. Oh, it's hard to get the light in there. I'm just curious. I don't see anything. Let me just look. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing like connecting, like some kind of channel or any differentiation within the channel itself with regard to this dendrite. Sorry, this is just really hard. It's back, camera's backwards, all sorts of things. Also, there's this. So we can see all the little arcs there. It's a little harder to see that around the boundary, like actually at the boundary, are little tiny teeth. That are chipped out in a way that looks like what I've heard called napping for like making an arrowhead, where this is a sign of like a human interaction with the rock to make it more like an arrowhead, but we see like napping in a regular structure along the boundaries here, I would say. And it's not to say it's arrowhead like, but it does it like have a more jagged pointed end and just like a general shape that could, in some other circumstances of precise current flows, produce an arrowhead. We even see like up here, maybe this isn't maybe not the best example because this is more like eroded than chipped away, where these are more chipped away. Interestingly, this chip right here, looking at this side, there's a big chip there, a bunch of little chips, flat face over here, up here, and then another chip over here, chip here. So if we kind of go around, oops, this ammonite structure is relatively near the chip next to it. So that's possibly related. This one looks almost sourced from over here, like across this channel, where we do see some difference in the color of the rock, like leading up to it even. Suggestive it fed into there, up this way, and helped chip the rock there. And then there's this one here. Which is, here's this opening that channels through from over here. Opening, chipped side. Almost like there's some kind of relationship between the two. So we got this chip, and then there's this chip, this one here, which is right, if this goes this way, from over here, this way, basically from here. So this is kind of, I guess if we find the lights, we can see the chip is like in line with it. So like the current was flowing out so much so that it chipped the edge of the rock here. And ultimately etched the edge of the rock just like is happening here, just like is happening here. It did so here. Around a boundary like this, around here, to a point where it actually broke the chunk off. And so this is the exterior of the rock, like here, of some piece, or like here, of some rock. Oops. Oh Lord. That had a chunk break off. It just wasn't able to stay in the currents, but it was forming a huge ammonite structure. Like basically this rock this shallogram, this representation of Vishnu, or actual Vishnu, is really just like a piece from here, but from a really big one. But where it still had the actual outer boundary around it. So like this segment, but with like innards that were just removed as well, maybe, and done so in layers. This makes me think of something. Let me find it. In the Wheel of Time video episode of Underground Science, I talk about how there's a bunch of like small disc-like structures throughout that have boundaries, that my interpretation is like a chain of eddies that form within a larger system that then are effectively behaving like stacked ammonites within an ammonite structure. So like an ammonite composed of ammonites stacked upon one another in a way where it then has the ammonite characteristics here, and maybe even, I don't know if that's reasonable, but maybe some dendritic regions with the dendrite. which is probably just stacked ammonites again that then channel in ways that fractally get in as far as they can and with the currents that are present to effectively distribute the pressures and stabilize as much as it can. Like even within this here, there's this angle of seeing it, which is interesting because if I wrap my finger around it here, if I can do this side, it can go all the way to here, and then this side, like there, like there's a boundary that a current went around this way and then ran into here, where the current from the opposite side is going around this way and pushing this boundary here, kind of like the top of shallograms that I've seen. I don't think this is the top. I guess it could be literally a top. I don't think it is. But so it has a current go there and another go this way. So to just show what I'm talking about, top, let me see if I can find one. It's been pretty recent. So let's go over here. Need one that actually shows what I'm talking about. Might be passing some that have, but some good examples. Where? Could this be a top section? Right here. Sorry if it's hard to see what I'm doing. I think this is the one I was looking for. Where it has a flow that goes this way, and then there's this thing here, and my interpretation is a flow goes this way. This is of course, my interpretation of things, but a flow goes this way, flow goes this way, they have a barrier, and then there's also maybe a backflow here, and this one then wraps around, I guess, and just kind of fills the space in general, but a flow goes this way and forms like an outer ring, and then it meets this and forms an outer ring with an inlet into a chamber itself, which is kind of more so where the current is draining through the rock from the top of the rock. Sorry, so that's kind of what I'm talking about here, is that maybe that seems to maybe be going on there. By its like not centeredness. Like if this is the way it is, it's just pushed over, and then this one that comes from over this side, so it's almost like this side, a current's flowing around this way, and a current's flowing around this way, and this current like stops it And that ends up causing the other current to just be flowing into it, which then leads to a like focused beam shortcut between from over here to go over there, but it does so in like a spine that just shoots through beyond the boundary of the two and out here and etches there. That's so cool. It's like a shark. Guess I could be trying to do it this way. Let's try to do it this way. This probably looks better. This angle. Okay, I'm just kind of going over it again. I noticed here there's some interesting shapes. Like hexagon. I was thinking kind of like a shallogram shape there, like here. I don't know if it's showing on camera that well. Can kind of see it centered right there with two lobes, but then another lobe out here even, but then it just really continues around. This one is even like eroded around. It's almost like this etched this entire boundary of this. Pardon me, buddy. Can just see, if it focuses, all of the different interacting currents that are kind of like galactic arms spiraling through and more just at different paths. Even right there in the rock itself, going like that way maybe. Just lots of subtleties. Like this is interesting. Like this, this here. It's got the teeth. But like, what's it doing in there? It's kind of, this one's this way, this one's this way. It's almost like is happening. Maybe a current coming out of this spiral that went up this way interacted with this, the teeth around here that then go around here, around to this point. And I guess ran into resistance where the current coming in this way created a dendritic structure in front of it while it ran into the resistance of current wrapping around here and just stopped it with this structure, and it got deflected this way instead, where it went into this spiral system maybe, as well as then providing a channel for current to go the opposite way. Possibly, I don't know, like bursting out of this eddy, like it also goes out that way. And just the other concepts of different color stuff. That speaking of, I've noticed here's like gold over here, and there's not much of that color in this rock, but it's over here. Interestingly, it's by like the top side of this chakra layer, and in like a little thread through there that interestingly points up to there, almost showing a connectedness was present. But then opposite over here, where these holes are, almost suggesting these holes are some kind of drainage point related to some inlet that possibly was over here. I don't think there's like a full-blown inlet over here. Possibly from here. It's hard to see, but it's white in there. It's got like a white material. Let's see if I can light it up. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, we can kind of see in there now. There it's... so... There we go. It's got something going on in there, but it doesn't go through. At least not apparently. I tried to shine light like through these other holes. The only one that seems to have any channel through is the big one there, that channel. The other two don't seem to have any sign of a channel through. But I was thinking it's possible that stuff comes into the rock and then fans out in, especially like this instance, carving the teeth boundary, pretty much anything that's going into the rock, like in a place like this, and not coming out. It comes out instead in these fanning ways, where it carves specific nodes of outlets, and then it connects those outlets that then form structures that have wavelengths that then form teeth that then just continue to form a larger unit of an ammonite structure. Something's also going on here next to the dendrite. It's got like little marks on its feet, on its foot. also noticed like a hexagon here, around here, across here, and down here. At least part of one, or polygon, something blocky. And just these slices next to the dendrite. Slice, slice, slice. This one almost looks like a really thin ammonite. Extending like even out to like there. And back here. Okay, I'll see y'all's in the next one. Cool rock, cool shallogram. Cool, so cool. Hopefully I touched on all of the topics that come to mind, or came to mind when I was looking at it, really. I think I got most of them. Most of the thoughts I had, I think I put in this video. So that's cool. Okay. Peace out. See you guys later.